So, the metaverse. You hear this word everywhere, right? It's tied to this absolutely insane $13 trillion promise. But here's the thing. Nobody can give you a straight answer on what it actually is. Is it the next internet, a super glorified video game, or something else? Well, in the next few minutes, we're not just going to define it. We are going to uncover the huge hidden battle being fought for its soul and what that means for every single one of us. And look, just to be clear, it's not just you. Check this out. One of the world's top experts on this, Matthew Ball, straight up admits there is no agreement on what this thing is. So if you feel like you're out of the loop, well, there isn't really a loop yet. We're all talking about a future that's literally being invented as we speak. Okay, so let's finally answer the big question. To really get what the metaverse is trying to become, you first have to understand where this crazy idea even came from.
Yeah, this whole concept, it wasn't dreamed up in some Silicon Valley meeting. Its roots are actually in science fiction. And its journey, from a novel to a multi-billion-dollar corporate mission, tells us everything we need to know about where it might be going. So the term itself, it was actually coined way back in 1992 in a sci-fi book called Snow Crash. The author, Neil Stephenson, basically imagined a VR successor to the internet. Then, around 2003, we got these early attempts, like Second Life, a shared online world that got a pretty dedicated following. But the whole idea just exploded in 2021, when Facebook changed its name to Meta, betting the entire company that this sci-fi idea was about to become our new reality. So it went from a cool kind of dystopian story to a corporate obsession. But if you strip away all the hype, what is the actual big idea here? What is the metaverse really supposed to be? Okay, I know. This definition looks complicated. But trust me, hidden inside all those technical words are the revolutionary ideas that could completely change how we use the internet. Let's just break it down into plain English. So what does all that really mean? First, it's persistent. That means the world is always on. It doesn't just switch off when you log out. Second, it's synchronous. Everyone is experiencing it live together at the exact same time. And third, and this is the absolute game changer, interoperable. This means you could take your avatar and your digital stuff from one virtual world into a totally different one. Just imagine taking your favorite Fortnite skin into a virtual business meeting. Seriously, that's the promise. This is probably the easiest way to get it. For the last 30 years, we've been looking at the internet through a flat screen. The whole point of the metaverse is to step through that screen. It's the difference between looking at a picture of a forest and actually standing inside of it. But as you can probably guess, building a whole new reality isn't exactly a weekend project. It needs this massive pileup of powerful technologies, and a lot of them are they're still pretty new. Yeah, building this thing requires a tech stack that is just mind-bogglingly complex. First, you need the hardware to get in, right? Your VR and AR headsets. Then you need the software, these powerful game engines to actually create the worlds. You need global infrastructure, servers and networks on a scale we've literally never seen. And maybe most importantly, you need a new kind of digital economy, which is where things like blockchain come into play, promising that you can actually own your digital stuff. This quote right here, it reveals the single biggest roadblock. And it's not really about the tech. It's about power. It's about control. Getting these giant competing companies to open up their systems and let you move between them, it's like asking Coke and Pepsi to share their secret formulas. It's just not in their nature. They've built these walled gardens, and true interoperability means tearing those walls down. And that basic challenge has kicked off a war for the future. Right now, there is a fundamental battle going on over not just how the metaverse is built, but who is going to own it and control it. On one side, you've got this vision for an open metaverse. Think of it like the early days of the internet, kind of a wild west. It's built on open, decentralized tech, often using blockchain, where you, the user, truly own your digital things and get a say in the rules. But then on the other side, you have the closed metaverse, the walled garden. This is the one built and controlled by big corporations, where you don't really own anything, you just license it, and the company makes all the rules. And that corporate vision, it's got a war chest. We're talking $36 billion. That's just how much Meta, by itself, has burned through on its metaverse division in just 3 years. For companies like that, this isn't just some fun experiment, it's everything. So with these incredible forces at play, what does all of this actually mean for us, for regular people? Well, this new digital frontier has some unbelievable promise. but it also presents some really big dangers. The promise is huge. I mean, imagine ending Zoom fatigue for good. You could have remote work and virtual offices where you actually feel like you're there with your coworkers. Or think about education. Immersive field trips where kids can walk on the surface of Mars or shrink down to explore a human cell. The potential for a deeper, more engaging way to learn and work is it's enormous.
And listen, this isn't some far-off dream. A report from PwC estimates that by 2030, almost 23.5 million jobs across the globe will be using AR and VR. This shift isn't coming. It's already happening. But with all that promise comes the peril. Because if the metaverse makes good interactions feel more real, it's going to do the exact same thing for the bad ones. Experts are genuinely worried that all the problems we see on social media, we're talking harassment, misinformation, bullying, could be 100 times worse in an immersive world where the psychological hit feels way more real. And then there's the risk of creating a new and maybe even worse digital divide. To get the full amazing experience, you're going to need expensive headsets and super fast internet. So, does the metaverse just become a playground for the rich, while everyone else is stuck with a cheap, watered-down version? We could end up just copying our real-world inequalities and pasting them into a new digital space. So why are the stakes so incredibly high? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Money. $13 trillion. That's what they think the metaverse economy could be worth by 2030. When you have that much cash on the table, the fight over who controls the front door becomes a global battle for power. This really gets to the heart of our role in all of this. The metaverse isn't some fixed future that's just going to happen to us. It is being built right now, choice by choice, line of code by line of code. We actually have this rare second chance to learn from the mistakes we made with social media and build something better, something more thoughtful, from the ground up. And in the end, it all boils down to this one question. Are we building a tool to make our physical reality better, to create amazing new ways to connect and learn? Or are we just building a more immersive, more profitable way to escape from it? The code is being written as we speak, and the answer is still up to us.